Hey, you guys. It has been a time trying to get this video to you guys because I promise you every time I make a video, try to make a video, try to edit a video, something goes awry. Nevertheless, I am here, you're here, we're here together. We're going to crank this out. The purpose of this video today, as I stated in my last video, is to address the claim by many women of I am the table. And I wanted to preface by saying that I got this idea, or the purpose of the video, shall I say, from Brother Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace. And he was doing a live one day that extended. Nevertheless, he said, why are women always saying I am the table? Right? And then something happened. I had to go do something. So I didn't really get to finish hearing his full viewpoints. Nevertheless, I have my own. So I can recall a time in undergrad where I myself professed I am the table. And at the time, I really did believe that I was, because I'm in college. I haven't been in any trouble with the law. I didn't do drugs. Well, I don't do drugs now, but I don't do drugs. I didn't have any children out of wedlock. All the things on paper that make you a good person. I was all of those things. But at the same time, I was no one's table because I had no idea who I was, my full purpose, no self-awareness, a lot of unhealed traumas and brokenness that I myself never took the time to fully examine because I thought that I was a table. So why would I even need to take the time to examine anything about myself, because I don't have any major problems, right? But it's those things right under the surface that we don't evaluate and that we don't examine and take the time to get to know for ourselves, having self-awareness once again, to truly understand who we are, what we are, and what we are bringing to the table, or if we are in fact a table, right? So we are going to break that down. And ladies, yes, I have been on you, but I wouldn't be if I didn't care. And if you know me personally, you would know that if I do not care about you, I will let you fall into a ditch without warning. What I'm trying to do here is put up caution signs, stop signs, red lights, yields, do not cross. I'm trying to prevent you from falling to the ditch by placing every warning sign I possibly can, so that we do not continue on this path of causing death and destruction to our nation. As women, we're supposed to be life bringers, right? We're supposed to have the wisdom and strategy and cunning enough in a good way to support, provide, protect. I know these sound like characters of men, and yes, men are supposed to have these characteristics. However, as women, as mothers, as the first teachers, as wives, as ourselves, we have to also protect ourselves and provide certain things to our children and certain things to our husbands if we have them, or be in a position to be ready for a potential suitor, so that when this man does come into your life, you're properly prepared and you have all the self-awareness. You've done all the work for yourself. I've heard some people call it shadow work. I've heard, Sister Elaine just says, do your work. And I'm saying the same thing. There is work that needs to be done. And hopefully by the end of this video, either something would have resonated with you, or you feel like you may need to talk to me further, and I can gladly and will gladly do work with you to get to some type of understanding of how we can either bring better things to the table or to in fact be a table. So let's get into it. If I look highly filtered, I agree. This lighting in here is really weird, and I would have to lay upside down in order for me to look my true skin tone. It's really strange. I look gray, but whatever. Anyway, we're here. When you hear your family. Um, I did not make that up. I don't need Algorithm coming after me. But okay, so last time I was discussing how as women we have put images of ourselves out there. And I'm always going to say we as women, right? Because I am a woman. And I feel like at times in the past I have been guilty of these things. So I'm not going to exempt myself as if I'm just so much greater. The only difference there may be between myself and some of you is that I've done the work. And some of you may have not gotten there yet. Some of you may not have finished your work, but nevertheless, I feel like we're all continual works in progress, and we always have to be evolving and ascending and transcending and becoming better versions of ourselves always, especially with the changing society and how the vibrations are really low. We need to always make sure that we're rising above. Y'all like to quote that a lot. That we're rising above and becoming the women that we were created to be, that we were called to be, and that we're meant to be. So I'm going to try not to go extremely long here, but this is something that I feel like I've played in my mind over and over again. It's a message that has been hammering in my brain, and may it cease once I get all of this out. May all the words that come out of my mouth be truth. May they resonate with you. May you gain something from it. May you see and feel that I am coming to you, sisters, from a place of love. Brothers, I will be saying some things to you as well. I am coming to you from a place of love. If I did not care, I would not be here. Trust me when I say I do not take my time and spend it haphazardly on things that I feel not are required of my time. Okay? But here I am, and I'm ready to start with you. Are you ready? Let's take a deep breath, because it's going to get heavy. Here we go. So ladies, I am the table. I am the table. What is a table? A table is something that holds things on top of it. A table has 4 legs, right? It's a solid, straight surface. In most cases, we're talking about a quality table, right? Not even the best of tables, just a quality table. It's sturdy, right? When we put something on it, we blindly trust that that table is going to hold up whatever it is that we put on top of it, right? No matter the temperature, no matter the weight, we blindly trust that once I place this item on this table, it will hold it, right? That means the table is trustworthy, it's reliable, it's sturdy, it's dependable, right? We depend on our tables to do what they are advertised to do. And women, what are we advertised to do? So I use that term advertised, and I don't want you to feel some type of way about it, but women, and I'm speaking in general terms, I don't need anyone to start pulling out semantics and saying, well, blah, blah, blah. We're not doing that today. Women, we're life bringers, right? We birth life, we give life, right? We're to be, I'm going to use the word soft as in a meaning of we're not hard and aggressive and that masculine energy, right? That's what I mean. We're to be soft, and we're comforters, and we're nurturers, right? Because as mothers, when your children come to you for the most part for comfort, to be nurtured, right? For that good mom hug, right? That's who we are. Come lay on my bosom, baby. Mama is here for you, right? That's who we are. Now, if we are not as we are proclaiming ourselves to be, right? If our presentation is in direct contradiction to who we say we are or who we demand to be treated as, then that creates problems, and it creates problems for men. And why is that an issue for us? It's an issue for us because if we're false advertising ourselves and saying, I am the table, when we meet a man and he thinks that men are utilitarian, they're primal beings. If we say, I am the table, he is going to immediately question, well, how? Show me, prove to me, right? But then we get all up in arms. I don't have to prove nothing to you because I do this and I do that. But you need to either explain via your actions or articulately enough for him to understand who you are and what you are proclaiming to bring to the table, or what type of table you're proclaiming to be. You have to be solid. Men shouldn't, can't, wouldn't be with a woman. Some men, you do fall prey, and I'm explaining to how you end up doing that. With a woman who is emotionally unstable, financially unstable, right? Who's aggressive, who's dishonest, who is all over the place, who's contradictory. Are you a contrarian? Do you say one thing and do another? Right? Are you always causing havoc? Are you always argumentative? Are you always in a state of questioning this man and giving him a time to where he feel like he can't take a breath? So let's just discover what I'm talking about, because as a mother of a young son, this is something that I'm in a way teaching him now and will teach him later on in his future. So let's go to Proverbs, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of women on average grew up Christian, right? And I'm sure you've been to enough Women's Day programs and they've quoted Proverbs 31, what a virtuous woman is, what a Proverbs 31 woman is, and everyone's, yeah, right. But at the same time, most of the women amening that are not upholding that. And that may be hard to swallow, but many of the women who either quote, recite, or amen to Proverbs 31 are not Proverbs 31 women. But here is what it said. This is Proverbs 5, right? It says, my son, hearken to my wisdom. Incline your ear to my understanding. Watch your thoughts, and your lips shall guard knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drip honey, and her palate is smoother than oil. Means her mouth is slick, right? Your palate, that's the inside roof of your mouth. That means you got a slick tongue. She'll say anything to you, right? She'll just woo you and finesse you, okay? But her end is as bitter as wormwood and sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet descend to death. Her steps come near the grave. Lest you weigh the path of life, her paths have wandered off, and you shall not know. You don't know where you are. You don't know up from down, left from right. This woman got you spinning. Okay, some of y'all women are slick-mouthed, and you done spun this man into destruction. And now, children, hearken to me and do not turn away from the sayings of my mouth. Distance your way from her and do not draw near to the entrance of her house. This is about to get good. Lest strangers be sated with your strength and your labors be in the house of an alien. Lest strangers be sated with your strength and your labors be in the house of an alien. That sounds like, because other translations say different things, and it kind of boiled down to one thing for me. It sounds like a woman who traps a man and gets him all wound up and his mind is gone. And in today's society, she has his children. But I really didn't want him. I just wanted to make his life miserable because someone made my life miserable. Or I didn't like the way he said this. Or I didn't like that he did that. And he's working all the time. You know what? I'm going to put this man on child support. Now your labors are in the house of an alien. An alien is someone who is not from where you're from. That sounds like the state to me. Could that be the states? Y'all women got these men all wound up, and then, I'm going to put you on child support. I don't want nothing to do with you. No, you can't see our children. Or this woman is sucking you dry like a succubus, taking all your virtue, your hard-earned money, spending it haphazardly, different stores, different designers. Or maybe she's taking it and going off on vacation with another man. It could mean a myriad of things. Nevertheless, what it's saying is, watch these slick-mouthed women. And to the women now, are you a slick-mouthed woman? Are you trying to lead these men astray? Are your feet quick to descend to death? Are your feet near the grave? Are you being honest with this man? Are you trying to take advantage of him? Is he so nice? Oh, he give me anything I want. You're not a table. And what you're bringing to the table is death and destruction. That's why I call this series Death of a Nation. Because you have a very small amount of women who act, or at least attempt to act, from states of virtue, but then you have a whole barrage of women who are out here purposefully trying to trap men and trick men and deceive men and con them out of all things, their energy, their time, their money, their resources, just to say that you did it, just to say that you could, because maybe somebody did that to you. Maybe someone violated you at a young age and stripped you of your being and your goodness and your virtue and your trust and your kindness and all these things. But baby, you got to heal. You have to deal with that brokenness, because that's not that man's fault. He didn't do that to you. So why are you punishing him for the misdeeds of another? Or why are you punishing him for your own misdeeds to yourself? Because sometimes it doesn't even take for someone to have violated you or to treat you in some type of way, to neglect you or abandon you. Sometimes you just make these choices on your own to just be a wayward woman. Maybe your father wasn't present. Or if he was, he wasn't the type of man that you needed enough to not be the type of woman who would lead a man astray. So let's start to evaluate our own actions and our own choice, because even if someone did do that to you, even if someone did violate you or disrespect you or dishonor you, it doesn't mean that you have to continue to do it to yourself nor to anyone else. Take the time to look at yourself and say, honestly, these choices are mine. And regardless of what happened to me in the past or present, doesn't need to dictate my future actions and behaviors. And I have the choice, because I have control over myself, right? Self-control, to make better choices for my own being and for my own sake. Why am I going to dishonor myself because someone else did it to me first? Why punish yourself? And now you've placed yourself in a position to be called a wayward woman, to not be desired in the way that you desire to be desired, right? To not be someone's first choice pick. If you're always feeling like the type of man that you desire is not the man that you're attracting, then maybe you need to look at yourself and say, what am I putting out there physically and energetically that is causing these type of men to come to me? Why isn't the man that I desire the man that I think that I desire? Why does he not desire me? Why are these type of men not in my immediate vicinity? Those are questions that you have to ask yourself. And the answers could be very shocking, but it's going to require honesty. And that's one of the hardest things to do, is to be honest with yourself, because a lot of times we start asking ourselves questions and then the first thing we say is, I don't know. If you respond, and I feel like I've said this before, if you respond, I don't know, to any question you ask yourself, or any question you're asked, period, that means you're not taking the proper time to really examine what the issue is, what the root is, to get to the bottom of it and figure out what the truth is. You need to dig a little bit deeper. If you say, I don't know, you do know. You know. You just don't want to face the truth of it. But that's the work that you have to do in order to be the type of woman who can proclaim, I am the table. Because going back to the beginning of the definition, a table is sturdy, it's dependable, it's reliable, it's trustworthy, right? If I throw my handbag on my glass top table, I still know that it will not shatter into a million pieces. I know that it's going to hold my purse. It's going to make a loud sound? Yes. Will I flinch? Probably, definitely. But I know it's not going to break. It's tempered glass. It's not going anywhere. The bottom is solid maple. It's not going to crumble into a bunch of little pieces. It's had no exposure to termites, to the elements, to pests to come and eat away and cause rot and destruction. Right? It's protected. And I know some of you don't feel protected. And I think that's the major issue. You don't feel protected. And that's what women desire overall: safety, security, and protection. So when you're out here trying to swindle a man out of his earnings, his hard labor, to throw it into the hands of an alien, what is it that I'm really after from this man? If you're the type of woman who's out there trying to trap a man with a baby, what is it that you're after? Is it security? Maybe it's just security that you desire. You want to feel safe and secure and protected and shielded. So let me do this, because I know he's not going to let me be destitute if I birth his offspring. So let me do this to secure the bag. Or maybe deep down, it's just you want to secure security. But your security doesn't come from another being. Even though men are here to provide that, but not through the means in which you go through to get it. Right? When you're with someone, and I'm going to get into what love really is And I feel like I've said this, and I don't know if I've said this on a previous video or if I've said it in the company of others, but I'm going to explain what love is and why it ties into what I'm saying now. But you have to ask yourself, is it security I'm really after? Do I feel unprotected? Did I go through life always feeling like no one protected me? So now I'm trying to do it in some other way through malfeasance to secure what I think it is I truly desire, when all you want is to feel protected and safe. Give me a second, y'all. I need to go grab my charger. Just a second. The security that you're after and not money, right? Even though money does offer security in a sense. However, that's not what you're really after. That's not the true gain that you desire. So you need to look at that and say, what is my true purpose of doing this? What is my true purpose of being this way? What is my true purpose? What am I really after? What am I really hoping to gain here? Okay? And be honest. So I really want to so let me explain what love is, because I think there's this misunderstanding of what it really is. And a lot of people use this term and they use it incorrectly because society and Hollywood and everyone has us thinking that love is this romantical thing, and people buy you things and they're always nice to you, and it's this sweep you off your feet and the butterflies. That's infatuation. That's puppy love. That's not true love with two people who have a mutual understanding and agreement, which is, I trust you unequivocally, with no question, no hesitation. I know you, and I trust you, and I feel safe with you, with my feelings, my emotions, my secrets, my heart, my mind, my being. I trust you with that, and I know that you are not going to take advantage of me nor hurt me purposefully, right? You're going to be by me, and I'm going to be by you, and I know that, and you know that, and we will stick by each other, and we have an understanding that we have differences. And although they may sometimes clash, that does not mean that you can't trust me and I can't trust you, that you don't know me and I don't know you, that I cannot rely, depend, trust you, vice versa. I will be down for you as you will be for me. That's what love is. That's why you can see these older couples, not of our generations, staying married for decades, many unto death, because they have come to that understanding that all these Roman antics are temporary and fleeting, and they aren't sustainable. A man cannot buy you flowers every day. First of all, why do you want him plucking nature from the ground for you? This man is not going to buy you a handbag every day. Why do you want him to spend his money on that? What return on investment will you get? He doesn't need to have to take you on trips all the time. Maybe I need to learn how to just be together. And it doesn't matter where you are or who you're with. You know that you have each other and that you're with each other. And whether you're speaking are quietly in a room together, reading separate books, your presence is all that's required, because you have security in knowing that this person is your person, and they get you, and they understand you, and they accept you as a whole person. And whether they're around you or not does not dictate your wholeness, because you are two complete individuals who have joined together. And where two people are joined together, let no man put asunder. And last time we spoke about what asunder meant. It means to create separation or enmity, right? To separate. That is what to put asunder means. No one can separate that or cause enmity between the two of you, because you know who you are. And because you know who you are, you can read them correctly, because you've taken the proper time to vet each other properly to see, is this person on my same frequency? Do they resonate with me? Do we have the same traditions and values and beliefs? Do we have the same foundation? Can we put our materials together and build something strong and sturdy and impenetrable? Do we have it? Are we strong enough as a unit to build up a household? Look at me losing my earring. To build up a household that is indestructible, that no man can put asunder. That's what love is. Truth of self, truth in each other, knowing that you don't have to worry about any distractions on the outside. You don't have to read text messages going through nobody's phone. There's no need to snoop. There's no need for interrogation. And people who know me know I'm not the one to be asking a whole bunch of questions, because the truth always reveals, no matter what. It comes out at some point in time. You don't have to go searching for it in those instances. And if you feel an unnerving quest to go and search for something, then you already know what it is. There's no need for you to go on any scavenger hunts, baby, because your instincts already told you what it was. So just dip. You can give someone the opportunity to tell you the truth or not, but you don't need them to validate. If you have something burning inside of you where you feel like something's not right, it's probably not right. And some of you are high functioning, anxious people, and you will tell yourselves all sorts of stories and spin yourself a web and a narrative. Oh, I know he doing something. Oh, I know she doing something. Because maybe you're guilty of that. Maybe you're projecting your shortcomings onto them. And if I'm doing it, they must be doing it. And if you're doing something, then you need to dip. Because why are you going to ruin this great person? And let's say they're not great, but why are you going to cause havoc in someone else's life because you require other things that they can't give you? Or you require things that are insatiable that no one can give you, because you're always in a place of wanting. If you're always in a place of wanting and you're insatiable and nothing can ever satisfy you, you need to work on you. I can help you do that work. We'll figure it out. But you need to do that work on you to understand why that is. Now, going back, if you're with someone and you feel committed to them and they feel committed to you, you don't need to always be on a quest to see if they're up to no good, because this is too good to be true. Because before you even allow yourself to get in a position to have your heart broken or to feel taken advantage of, you should be searching for all the flags that do present themselves very clearly. Most times we choose to ignore them. It is an active choice that many of us make, and we choose to ignore red flags because we think we can change someone or we think we can save someone. Women, that's some of our biggest problems. And you do have some men who have some, and I hate to use this term, but I don't know what else to say, some save a hoe feelings, like always got to go out and save someone. Men, you can't save women either. No one can be saved unless they want to be saved. Don't be throwing out no life rafts unless they've swam 3/4 of the way. That means they want to live. So, okay, here you go. Here's a life raft. Here's a lifesaver. But if they just out in the middle of the ocean talking about throw it to me, you're too far, love. They're going to pull you in. Don't do it. That's someone that just wants you to do all of the work. And if they want you to do all of the work, then that doesn't sound like a partnership to me. It sounds a lot like slavery. And you're going to be in this relationship with someone who's constantly wanting you to do all of the work. And then you lose yourself trying to save them when they don't even really want to be saved. They just want to pull you out into the middle of the ocean with them. Let's look at it like that, because that's what it is. And that's not a partnership. And that's not a type of relationship that you want to get into. And if you're that type of person that wants somebody to do all the work and meet you where you are, then you're not in a position to be in relationship with anyone, because you're going to drown everyone you meet. And then instead of looking inward and saying, man, I'm a super predator, you're going to look at them. See, and everybody let me down, and they just left me out here, and he didn't want to help me pay my bills, and he didn't want to help me take care of the kids that I decided to have and make, and irresponsibly, and he's not helping me do this. You don't need anybody. Let me fully explain this. I'm going to say you don't need anybody to help you do anything. Now, do all of us need someone? Yes. But what I'm saying is, in order for you to be the type of person that you want to be, you have to be that person. You have to do the work necessary to be who you say you desire to be. No one else is responsible for your being but you. You should be in control of you. If you're not in control of you, then that means someone else is. And if someone else is in control of you, that means you're a puppet. And you have to ask yourself, am I a puppet? If you want to say no, then you have to then examine, do other people have control over my being more than I do? Does society have control over my being? Do I blame racism for my being? Do I blame men for my being? The state of your being is entirely up to you. It is entirely up to you, because you are responsible for you. And if you're not where you want to be in life, it's because you didn't do the things necessary in order for you to progress to the state that you want. It is no one else's responsibility. If someone didn't help you in the past, if someone let you down, if someone diminished your character, denigrated your state, all those things, it still comes down to personal choices and what you have allowed in perpetuity. Because if you keep blaming someone else for why you aren't who you want to be or why you aren't where you want to be in life, then you're blaming them and making them responsible for you in perpetuity. That means every future act, every goal, anything you're trying to manifest in your life for the future is going to always be thwarted by this person or those people, because you keep giving them the power over you more than you give the power to yourself. And they will always have a hand in keeping you down. So how long are you going to let these people keep you down? How long are you going to let them control you? How long are you not going to take charge of your own being and your own self, take some personal responsibility, have accountability, and say, you know what? I have allowed this all this time. And no one is physically standing in my way, keeping me from anything. No one has signed any documents to say this person cannot have because XYZ. There is no laws nor legislation standing in your way saying you cannot be successful. You cannot be who you are called to be. You cannot be who you desire to be, because I have set this into law. I have written it into stone. It is signed, sealed, and delivered, and this is your fate forever. So when you give someone else the power over you and you say that I don't have because, that's exactly what you're doing. You are giving them the power. So, with that being said, if you are not fully healed, if you are still in a state of brokenness, you're not going to be able to get into a type of relationship where you know this person is there for you, will ride for you. Because if you know somebody gonna ride for you, you ain't gonna make them ride. If you really love them, if you really support them and want to see the best for them. It was when I was listening to a video by Sister Erica Lachey, and she said she was talking about the men in her life and how they will stop at nothing to protect her. But then she also felt equally responsible to protect them, because she's not going to place them in a position to be put in prison and made to be slaves because she made bad choices, because she put herself in a position or said something to someone and made them want to jump out at her. And now she got to say, oh, let me go get my brothers. Let me go get my dad. Let me go get my uncle, whomever. She's not going to place them in a position to have to jump out there like that. She's going to make sure that her actions and her behavior is responsible so that she doesn't put them. So I'm going to protect my protectors. And that's exactly it. That's what partnership or marriage is supposed to be. Not somebody going out here mad shooting up the city because you said, oh, I didn't like the way, or he did this, or I. But sometimes you got to know how to hold your own. I know if I called my brother or my dad or my uncles for something, they would probably definitely come. But I have literally have never had to do that. Have guys gotten in my face or disrespected me? Sure. Have some of those situations I placed myself in? Absolutely. But at the same time, like, I'm not about to get them caught up in no mess. Especially if it's something that's not even that serious. If my life is not in any immediate danger, I'm not calling them because somebody hurt my feelings. Because some dude said something I didn't like. I almost got myself stabbed up in New Orleans once because some dude grabbed at me and I got in his face because you ain't about to grab me. He put a knife on me. And was that ridiculous? Absolutely. But you got people like that in this world. You got some men in this world who don't care about anything. They just want what they want, right? And they'll try to get it by any means. They don't have the mental fortitude to tell them that this is improper behavior, that this is not a way to get a woman. And if she doesn't want you, or if she doesn't acquiesce to your advances, doesn't mean she deserves to die or be disrespected, call out her name, apprehended, physically assaulted. It's not necessary. Just go on your way. Because guess what? Not everybody's going to be attracted to you. Not everybody's going to resonate with your energy. And same women. If there is a man who wants to move on from you, don't go into this state of manipulation trying to trap him with you, because now you salty because you know he really don't want to be around, and you've done all the things you think you could do, probably things that have disrespected you, and diminished your integrity and your virtue, and you've degraded yourself and disrespected yourself, and now you mad because those tricks didn't work because you thought you had it and you realize you didn't, because you ain't the first slutty Susan to come around and rock his world. And even if you did, sometimes some men they require more. And that's what I want to get to. Some men require more. What is the more that they require? A virtuous woman. What is a virtuous woman? Let's find out. See, we're going to get to this. We're going to go all the way to 31. And I'm going to read this out to you guys. And it was funny because some brothers, he is Blanchard and Coolheem were doing a live. And they read this out. And someone made the comment, this sounds like she sounds like the head of the household. And it's funny because you'll see. Now, I'm reading from the Tanakh version. So the translation is going to be a little bit different. I know most of you are probably familiar with the King James. I just don't like to read from that one. The words of Lemuel, the king, a prophecy that his mother chastised him. What, my son, and what, the son of my womb? I talk about the womb a lot. And what, the son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to the pleasures of kings. It is not for kings, Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, neither is strong drink for rulers, lest he drink and forget what was made law and change judgment of all the impoverished. Let me keep going. Okay. I'm skipping to verse 9. Open your mouth, judge justly, and plead the cause of the poor and the needy. A woman of valor who can find, for her price is beyond pearls. Her price is beyond, her value is beyond. There's another scripture that says, do not cast your pearls to swine. Why are you throwing your crumbs down there? Why are you just giving it all away, women? That's what I talk about a lot. Stop casting your pearls to swine, to the undesirables, to the ones that aren't worthy. Stop. Her husband relies on her. She's reliable, a good, strong, reliable table, and he will lack no gain. Because remember I said a woman is a birther. Not only do we birth actual physical life as in our offspring, but we birth the vision of our men. You give me a vision, I'm a birth it. I'm going to bring life to it. You want to have an empire? I'll help you. Anything you desire, I will make sure that I find a way to help you, to help us have all that you desire. Because now you're a happy man and you're a fulfilled man. And a fulfilled, happy man is going to be a good husband. And a good husband is going to make a good wife. And it just goes and goes. And now you have a happy, productive partnership. It cut out weird at some point. Now you have a happy, productive partnership. She requites him with good and not with evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax, and she works it with the will of her hands. This is a working woman. She's like the merchant ship. She brings her food from afar. She rises when it is still night. She gives food to her household and an allotted share to her maidens. This woman is a businesswoman. She works. Yeah, she has children. To her maidens. Do a lot of us have maidens? No, we do not. Do we need some? Probably. I needed one. I need one. I need an assistant. To help you help the house. Right? Let's see why she needs help. She contemplates a field and purchases it. This woman buys land. She's not here frolicking about, spending her money on unnecessary things that don't add any value to the household. She's not out here trying to get Birkin bags and Chanel's. Okay? She girds her loins with vigor and strengthens her arms. Oh, wait, let me go back. She contemplates a field and purchases it. From the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard, which means now she's multiplying the land. I bought this land and it's going to yield more for us. She girds her loins with vigor and strengthens her arms. She advises that her merchandise is good. Her lamp does not go out at night. Keeps bringing it in. She stretches forth her hands and onto the distaff, and her hands support the spindle. She spreads out her hand to the poor man, and she stretches her hand out to the needy. This is a giving woman. She's not selfish, right? She doesn't hoard all things for herself. She's not greedy. This is a giving, sharing, selfless woman. She fears not for her household for snow, for all her household are dressed in crimson. She makes beautiful bedspreads for herself. Fine linen and purple wool are her raiments. Those are the colors of royalty. Colors of royalty. This is a queen. This is the way a queen behaves. If y'all look at the symbology, then you'll understand. This is the way a queen behaves. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits with the elders of the land. See, we've forgotten how to respect our elders, and we don't give them the proper esteem. But if his name is known in the gates, men know him, and he can sit with the elders. He has respect. This is a good man. She makes a cloak and she sells it, and she gives a belt to the trafficker. Strength and beauty are her raiments, and she laughs at the last day. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and instruction of kindness is on her tongue. The instruction of kindness, not to berate your husband, not to belittle him, not to tell him a million times a day what he's not doing, what he can't do, what you need all the time. Yes, communicate to your husband what you need, but with kindness, and your instruction is on your tongue, because you speak with wisdom. And when your words go out and they go forth, goodness only comes back, because you're speaking from a place of love and kindness and gentleness. You're not all extra aggressive and yelling at this man. You don't have your hands all in his face and backing him into a corner and then wondering why he's always trying to get away from you, and why he doesn't say certain things to you, and he doesn't share his feelings and his desires with you, because your words don't speak kindness. You don't come from a place of wisdom. It's always to degrade and berate and belittle this man, and to emasculate him, and to make him feel as if he isn't worth anything. And then you tell him that. But if he is all those things, then why did you marry him? Or why did you give your body to him before you found that out? If he's so horrible. She supervises the ways of her household and does not eat bread of idleness. She's not out here just sitting on her butt, being non-productive, waiting for other people to do things for her, waiting for things to just magically come into the household. Her children rise and call her fortunate, also her husband, and praises her. Right? The last video I talked about how women, we just want to be exalted. But are you worthy of exaltation? Is your behavior worthy to be placed on a pedestal and said, oh my goodness, look at this woman. She's got the household under control, whether you have called somebody else to help you clean it or not. A lot of women are so happy. I don't cook, I don't clean. What? How? Do not invite me over. I don't want to come. You play retarded music with your children around, music that only breeds destruction and drug use and poverty and death, that disrespects women. Now you're teaching your son how to talk to you and to every other woman, because every other word in the song is be this and hold that. Your daughters listen to it, so they think it's cool for them to call themselves that. I am not the woman who likes to be called a bitch. I don't call it to my friends. I don't really like it. I don't think it's empowering. Why do I want to be compared to an animal? A bitch is a female dog. Yap, 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 yapping away all day. Barking all goddamn day. Nagging all goddamn day. Don't call me no bitch. Because that's not who I am. And that's not what I do. I am a woman phenomenally. Since we always like to call Sister Maya Angelou, I am a woman phenomenally. I am not going to nag you. You know what you're supposed to do. I'm not your mother. I don't need to remind you a million times a day. If you out with your friends, I'm not calling you trying to see where you at, because you could easily lie to me if you want to. You know where home is. You know where I am, at the house, probably reading a book, watching a show, sleeping, who knows, doesn't matter. And if I'm out with my girls, you know where I am, out with my girls. I'm at dinner. I'm not here cutting up in the streets. I'm not going off with some other man. I'm not being oil slick mouth woman. You know that what I say is what I do, and vice versa. Okay? Many women have acquired wealth, but you surpass them all. Charm is false and beauty is futile. And some other scriptures say favor is deceitful and beauty is in vain, for a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and her deeds will praise her in the gates. That means the town knows that this is a good woman. People speak well of her. There is no gossip about her, because there can be no gossip about her, because she even shuns the very presence of evil. This woman doesn't even walk into the way of the scornful. She doesn't sit in the seat of the ungodly. This woman ain't out here in the streets gossiping and causing mayhem and mischief. She work with her hands at night. She go out into the marketplace and sells her things. She brings wealth back into her household. She goes off into lands and buys land and plants vineyards and creates surplus for her household. And she gives to the needy. If her gardens have produced so much fruit, more than her house can handle, she shares it. She's not a selfish woman. She's not a greedy woman. Her children see that. She's a good example to them of what a woman should be. And her husband is proud of her because she is a queen. Because when he finally comes home, hey baby, how you doing? How was your day? How did it go? How the other brothers doing? It was great, baby. How was yours? Oh, I bought some more land today, love. We got some new fruit trees in the yard. They'll bear fruit in a while. That's amazing, honey. I don't know how you get all this stuff done. Because he gets stuff done, and she gets stuff done, and they get stuff done together. And their house is wealthy, and they're never lacking, and they're never without. And they do well together because they trust each other, and they speak well of each other, and they honor each other. This woman is dependable. She has no loose screws. This is not a rickety woman. And a lot of you women out here are fold-up tables made from engineered plastic. Some might just be acrylic with aluminum legs, not even aluminum alloy. Can't be iron. I want to be a table made of pure gold. At the end of it all, when my name is spoken in the gates, I want to be as pure gold. What is a pure gold table? A pure gold table is solid. You cannot break a table made of pure gold that has been refined in the fire. It has gone through its process. It has been heated and treated and cured to perfection. The refinery process, as I have previously stated many times, is a grueling process. It is not easy. It is hot and uncomfortable, and sometimes it may feel lonely and depressive and oppressive. But oh my, when you come out the other side, you are solid and strong and sturdy and lasting, with long suffering and trustworthy and honorable. Because you have stood the test of time. You have allowed yourself to go through the process of refinement. The crown on your head can never be knocked off because it is there. Your crown is. It never needs to be fixed because it just is. It's not a physical, actual crown that needs to be picked up from time to time. No. Whether you bend over, bend forward, fall down, trip, stumble, your crown is. Because you are. Period. You speak well of others. And if you don't have anything well to say, you just mind your business. You're not out here on social media yapping about everything going on in your household, letting everybody know what's going on, and then being embarrassed when everyone has an opinion about it. You don't degrade your children all over the globe, demean them and diminish them, make them feel small. No, you build them up. Mama had a bad day. Well, baby, let's have a better one tomorrow. What happened? How could we have done better? That's how I talk to my son now. Stop fussing at him. Well, that's not true. I fuss in a different way. But I challenge him now because I see that society is going to raise him if I don't. He has a father. His father raised him too. We have to stay on him. We have to be so very vigilant because society is next level and they are after our children. And if you let them, society will win. And we'll have your child out here all in the upside down, not knowing which way is which because you dropped the ball. Don't let society raise your children. It's up to you, their first teacher, their mother, to instruct them with wisdom and kindness on your tongue. Not to yell at them and target call them little MFers and stupid and idiots. Not beating them because they made you feel stupid because they asked you a good question that you couldn't answer. Go find the answer. My son right now has a hard time, even though I constantly prove to him that I'm right. But when I tell him something, he's like, are you sure? So when I tell him something, I show him evidentiary support so he can see. And now I ask him, baby, has mommy ever lied to you? And if I've told you something that was untrue, it's because I really believe that to be true at the time. I'm not going to purposefully mislead him or tell him any old thing. If you ask me a question, I'm going to look it up, baby, if I don't know the answer. We have to act in wisdom always. Our children are always watching us. They're always listening to us. And if you don't have children, it's the same for the people that you want to have in your life. They're always watching you and listening to you and seeing what you're doing. And if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship with someone and you're saying that you are the table, but every time they turn around, you're in emotional disarray, you're a wreck, You always need some kind of advice. Not to say that none of us doesn't need advice ever, because I need advice too from time to time. But I'm not going to go off into life just acting haphazardly because I'm going to let my emotions rule me and dictate the type of woman that I'm going to be, because society has frustrated me so much that I can't control myself and my own being. No. A lot of stuff I don't engage in anymore because I feel like a lot of it is just to suck my energy dry. And I'm not going to succumb to that. And there's a lot of stuff that we feed into that we ought not to, because it's destroying us from the inside out like a cancer. And we're allowing it to be this way. We have to be diligent in the way that we choose to be and do our own work and take responsibility for our own actions. If you are the table, baby, what can be placed on you? How far do your legs hold you? Are you a fold-up table? Are you going to buckle under pressure? Do people have to be ever so careful about what they place on you because you might crumble at any moment? Or we don't know how much she can handle. Just, don't give that to her. She can't handle it. She's not strong enough yet. Her legs are too wobbly. Or you're a wooden fold-up table with the little hinges on them. I think they use aluminum alloy on those hinges, not even iron. But nevertheless, you have hinges. And if you're that kind of table, cool, you made out of wood, you still solid. But you might need to get tightened up every now and then. And sometimes the screws and the drills that come may be uncomfortable, but it's what's necessary to make sure that you don't fold under pressure, to make sure your legs don't bottom out from under you, to make sure those hinges don't get so loose to where they can't hold a thing, they can't hold a feather. You might need to get straightened out from time to time, sis. Take the instruction. Everybody out here trying to instruct you is not trying to hurt you. They're not trying to diminish who you are. They're trying to make sure you stay standing, baby girl. Because you're a little bit wonky. You look like you'll make it, but you might not. They're unsure. Y'all be careful. These legs, I don't know. I mean, they're holding up, but just be careful how much you put right there, because I'm unsure. I'm unsure. It might hold, but it might not. That's not reliable, and that's not dependable. They can't trust you fully. Let's just be careful. We're going to put this stuff down here, but let's just be careful. If the man in your life or the man you're trying to have around in your life has to tiptoe around you because you're so emotional, you could have a meltdown at any moment. You got to fix that. Not him. If they got to be if everybody around you got to tread ever so lightly to make sure that you don't break down. You look strong, right? That's that. I'm a strong woman. You look strong. On the outside, someone sees, oh, that's a wooden table. They might not look under to check, oh, that's not all solid wood. Got some hinges on there. You know, sometimes those things come loose. They rust out, right? All them tears that you letting fester, all that hurt you letting fester, just rotting out those hinges. Compromising the integrity of your structure. Making everybody unsure just how much you can hold. Making you unreliable. Not sure if they can depend on you or not fully. But you're strong. You can hold it. Some of it. You don't even know what you can hold. You don't even know how long you got left. Because you have the appearance of being a strong, sturdy, reliable, dependable table. But just under the surface, you got some things need to be worked out. Some nuts and bolts that got to be tightened. Some hinges might need to be replaced. What are the hinges? The hinges are your thought patterns, your belief systems, your the glue of your foundation, not even your foundation, just the composition of your foundation. Right? Is it asphalt? Are you only gonna get about a good 7 years out of it? I watch a lot of home improvement shows, y'all. Just don't judge me the way I understand things. Are your materials strong enough to be sustainable, to stand the test of time? Is it tried and true? No matter what weather may come, we know this is going to stand. Hurricane, tornado, tsunami, or typhoon. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough to compromise the integrity of your structure, your foundation, your being, who you are, what you stand on, what you made of. Sis, what you made of. For real. Ask yourself, brothers, same. What are you made of? Does this woman and your children have to tiptoe around you? Are they unsure just how much you can hold? Do they have to have feather soft shoes to be in your presence? Do the children always have to be quiet around you? Do she have to make sure she speaks in soft tones or just loud enough for you to hear, but not so soft to where you get frustrated and angry because you didn't hear what she said? Because you're never really tuned in anyway. And she's always unsure if she can approach you properly because I don't know how much he can handle. Because, brothers, you always ask what a woman brings to the table, inferring that you're the table. But you're made out of soft plastic. A little bit of heat and you melt down. She can't put nothing on you. She can't give you anything, any of her thoughts, her fears, her frustrations, her happiness. She can't give you anything. Because any little thing can melt you down. And then that makes her feel like she has to be stronger, which creates these hypermasculine women because they feel like I have to do it all because he's not. I can't leave the children with him. I can't put the business in his hands. I can't talk to him about my day because he can't handle it. I can't trust him with my fears and my emotions. He's too soft. He's not strong enough yet. So let me protect him and keep all this to myself and carry all this burden on my own and still go out to the marketplace and still sell my treasures and still work with my hands at night and make sure that my handmaidens have the instructions the day when I leave for market. And that my children have their instruction and that they know that mommy loves them and cares for them, is out to provide for them. Don't worry, I got it. A lot of you men got to step up too, because you putting all this on us, and some of us are solid oak. Some of us are made of pure gold. But there comes a time when gold tarnishes. Solid oak might need a good oil rub down from time to time. It's going to still need maintenance and care. No matter the type of table, it still needs maintenance and care. You may need to be shined and buffed out, sanded down a bit, reworked, fresh coat from time to time. And it would be nice to have someone to do that type of caring for you. when you making sure that all your nuts and bolts are solid? Are you not allowing any termites to come and eat away at you? Nothing can pester you to a point of disintegration because you're a solid human, complete and whole and steadfast, because you know who you are and you know what you offer, because you just are. And it doesn't take any work anymore because it's a part of your being now, because you're healed and you've been transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your mind is different now. You don't get caught up in, like my girl Erica, in the foo-la-la craziness of it all, of the world that confuses you and turns you all about and has you living in the upside down. You are solid. And yes, if that is you, yes, you require a man to be just as solid. And now y'all can be a big banquet table together. Solid, strong, and steadfast for your family. Offering equal protection and safety and security for your children and for the household and for each other. You protect and provide different things for each other. Protecting and providing. Providing doesn't always come down to financial gains. Provide safety and knowing that I got you and you got me. I'm not going to let any harm come to you. I'm going to make sure I don't bring no harm to our front door. I'm not going to be out here in these streets creating malice and discord in other people's homes where it's going to come right back to ours. I'm not going to create any dysfunction in our household. I'm not going to bring any outside people into our marriage bed that's going to cause confusion and create enmity that's going to put us asunder, separated, alienated from each other. I don't know who you are anymore, I hear some people say to their partners and spouses. I don't even know who you are anymore. You weren't paying attention. They've been changing this whole time. You didn't use your looking eyes to see. Or you never knew who they were in the first place. You told yourself who they were based on their initial presentation. So you met the representative. And you got so caught up in who the representative was that you didn't take the time to look under the surface of the table to see what is really going on. If you're a car person, you never popped the hood. They told you there was a 4-liter engine ready to go. They might be a 1.7. They'll give you a little something, a little. They'll go, but they're not going far, nor as fast. What's holding them up? Is it Elmer's glue? Is it foil paper? Is it duct tape? What is the foundation? They put plaster of Paris? Do they just put regular screws in there with a regular screwdriver and put it in there as far as it could go, not knowing if that's the proper nail or screw to use? If it's at the right angle to hold firm forever? Is it solid through and through? If you're with someone, since we're talking about tables and solidness, so we know that a solid gold or a solid oak table or a maple is heavy. I don't know how much furniture any of you have ever tried to move in your life, but solid wood or gold is heavy. You can't just pick it up and throw it anywhere. It doesn't easily go wherever you want it to go. It's not easily moved. It takes effort, right? You can't just put it wherever you're not going to make that go wherever you want it to go. It takes effort and teamwork to move that table from one part of the room to another or from one location to the next. Don't be so easily moved. If I can kick you with my foot and you fly halfway across the table, baby, you're not strong enough. I know I can throw you wherever I want to throw you. I can control you any kind of way. I don't have to, it don't require much effort on my part to move you where I want you to go. That means you're easily manipulated. If somebody kick you with their foot and they hurt their goddamn ankle, that's what they get. Baby, don't come for me. I'm too strong for that. You can't knock me over. What you thought was going to happen? I was going to fall? I was going to crumble? You thought my leg was going to give out? Nah, baby. I'm not going anywhere. You can't handle me like that. I'm solid. I'm sturdy. I'm steadfast. You can't even hit me with a hammer. You might cause a little ding. Yeah, it's going to hurt. But that's all you did. You still didn't knock me down. You still didn't create great damage. All it needs to do is be buffed out a little bit. I'll be just as good as new in no time. You can scratch me. I'm still a solid table. You might try to even go so far as cutting my leg off. It's going to take you a minute. Don't be so easily moved and manipulated. Ladies, brothers, be strong in your being. Your being is who you are. It is the essence, the core of you. It is who you are. And if you don't know who that person is, if you don't stand true to who that person is, then anybody can come along and do whatever, whenever to you. And then you blaming them. And then you can say, well, tables don't build themselves. In my analogy, they do. But you know what? Tables don't build themselves. They always need to have a carpenter or some type of architect. And you know who that is? That's your parents. And if your parents didn't build you up right and give you the proper tools to teach you how to tighten your own screws, then that's their bad. But that's what books are for. That's what knowledge of self is for. To realize, ooh, my composition ain't all the way right. Let me add something to this. Maybe they did build me up to be a folded away table. But that's not who I desire to be. That's not who I desire to be. So you know what? Let me add some stuff to this. Let me rearrange some things to make sure that I'm solid. Let me put in some work. Let me get some tools. Let me go get some more tools and some more materials to restructure myself so my legs can be solid and firmly planted like a true tree planted by the water. Be unmovable. There's a bug flying around me. I'm getting annoyed. Be unmovable. When you know who you are, no one can tell you who you are. That's why I said he that finds a wife, you have to be a wife first. A wife isn't even a married woman. We just use that term. A bride is already ready and waiting, right? When you okay, for those who have gone through weddings and marriage, when you're getting ready for the ceremony, you're already dressed. Before that even happens, they're calling, who's the bride? Right? You're already a bride before you sign any documents stating that you're now a wife. The bride is always waiting for her groom. The groom makes you the wife. Officially. So he that finds a wife, because the brides are waiting, and out of all these brides, that's my wife. Her right there. Yeah, they pretty. They dresses are nice. But that one right there, that's my wife. He's grooming you because he, in the same moment that you're being set up to be chosen as a wife, he has been groomed to be your husband. The one who holds your house together, who keeps you safe and secure and in a state of knowing. He is emotionally stable. He has the mental fortitude to control himself. No one else can control him. He is not easily manipulated. He knows who he is. He's financially stable too. It doesn't mean that he has to have 6 figures. It just means that he works well with what he has. He's a good steward over what he has. He's not out there in the casino or out in the strip clubs or in the streets blowing his money this way and that. Got his mattress on the floor, right? Got his TV sitting on Tupperware. And people can say, well, there you making fun of people who don't have a lot of money. I have been in the homes of people who do not have a lot of money and they do not live like that. Because those same type of men got all these chains and shoes and $40,000, $50,000 cars. Walking around wearing these George Michael earrings like they're bringing anything to anybody's table. But they just waiting on another mama to come and take care of them. And here you come. Oh, look at his house. It's a bachelor pad. Let me help him. If you don't know how to keep your own house, I don't want to come in and help you. Because you're going to be picking up after you all the day long. Picking out a TV stand. Putting the wall mount on the TV myself. Teaching you how to keep your house. When your parents should have done that. Or you should have figured it out yourself before you declared you wanted a wife. You're not ready. Don't go for them type of men. I don't care if this man make 30,000 or 300,000. This man is responsible with his funds. He doesn't spend it. He invests it. He goes out and buys land also. And has a house ready and waiting for you to come in and just keep it up. Maintain what he has already built. That's why the wife is to help meet the needs of the household. And if your man don't have any kind of style, that's different. Cool. Y'all figure out what y'all like together. But don't try to turn his world upside down. Don't try to mold him into who you want him to be. If he's not the type of man that you want to be, don't be with him. If you feel like you got to mold a man, that ain't the one for you. He is not the one for you. Men likewise, if you feel like you got to mold a woman and make her into who you want her to be, she is not yours. That is not your wife. She's somebody's bride, but she's not yours. You can't groom her and make her who you want her to be. No, she was already made for you. Women, he was already made for you. And patience will allow for you to find each other. And I know this world is crazy. And the dating scene is murky. Murky, murky waters. And the number of good brothers out there are slim to none. Trust me, I see it, ladies. I understand what y'all saying now. It's real. It's real rocky out here. It is. I see it. I know now. A lot of men are emotionally unstable. They get mad at any little old thing. You can't tell them nothing. They can't take no kind of criticism. They're financially unstable or irresponsible. Let me put it like that. They can't control their body parts. They out here dipping and diving in everything that moves because they're lonely and they need something to make them feel like they're wanted because they need, what's the word? Validation from others. So let me see if I still got it. So I'm going to just go sleep around with everybody so I can feel like somebody. They don't have good relationships with others. They're always in some type of discord with somebody. That's not who you want. That's not the man. He's not the one. You can't change that. That has to come from within. And if you feel like you always need a man and you want to sleep around, well, men get to do it. Why do you want to be a whore? Why do you want to give your womb out to any old body? Do you not understand how serious and sacred that is? Stop doing that and stop trying to defend it. Stop trying to defend being a whore. Stop making excuses for sleeping around and thinking it's okay because you are doing damage to your very soul, to your being. As we have discussed before, scientifically, when a woman lays with a man and if he gives her his semen, she holds and houses that in her bones forever, even unto death. You and this man are now one on a physiological level. And you are carrying all of his energy with him. Why? Because our bodies are also comprised of a lot of water. And we've learned that water has memory. So anytime you with someone and you're sharing all these saliva and seminal fluids, you are becoming a part of that person. And whether he has shared his semen with you or not, your waters have merged and now his journey has become your journey. And you're wondering why you all in disarray. You're wondering why you're all confused and why you're behaving in ways and you're feeling depressed and you're anxious and you don't understand why, because you got this man's fears and his brokenness and his trauma. And likewise, you got all of her insecurities and her unknowing and her lack of self-awareness. And you're wondering why everything is out of order because you are out of order. You have laid with someone who you should not have because you don't even know who they are. You didn't even take the time to discern if their spirit was going to be in alignment with yours. But because you liked the way they looked, or that he flew you out, or he bought you a Birkin, that he is worthy of you. He didn't have to buy you a Birkin. He could have took you to Rainbow and you'd have been just as fine. Bought you a 2-piece spicy with red beans and rice and a biscuit with some honey on the side. And you thought, oh my God, this man bought me a meal. He bought me a cold drink. Or because he can dance well, you ready to bust it open. Come on. That should make you nervous. That should make you nervous. If you see a man who can really move, is it attractive? Sure. But bro, why are you so good at that? How much practice have you had? Don't you find that suspicious? That ought to be suspicious. I'm just saying, that isn't something that should light your fire. Is it intriguing? Sure. I'm not even going to sit here and hold y'all. Yeah. But that should not be the end all be all in determining if this man is worthy of your womb. That doesn't mean he can have it. That doesn't mean he should have it. That doesn't mean you can let him place whatever he wants to on top of your table. Because if you're doing that, you're not even a table. You're a chair at best. And chairs have a much, much shorter lifespan than a table. And do we sit in chairs and do still blindly trust that they're going to hold us up? Yeah, sure. But we've seen one too many a video where people's chairs have bottomed out as soon as they sat down. How many videos of tables do we see just falling out? Not very many. Because tables are more sturdy. They're built better. They're built up better than chairs. Most times when you buy chairs, I don't know how often y'all buy chairs. If you ever look at the descriptions, I always look at everything. It gives you a weight capacity. This chair can only hold 150 pounds. This chair can only hold 350 pounds. So I am not going to go to the store and go to the children's section and buy a chair that's meant for children that can only withstand 50 pounds and try to sit my 117-pound body on top of it. Because that's stupid. That's foolish. And y'all out here acting real foolishly and then wondering why you on the floor. Because you let this man with all his heavy burdens and problems just plop right on top of you. I can hold it. No, baby, you can't. Because you ain't even a table, love. I know you feel strong. You've held a lot in the past. Kudos and brava. But baby, that man and his issues, that's too heavy for you. You can't hold it. Don't try to. You have nothing to prove. Don't do that to yourself. Now you in pieces and shambles on the floor, broken and misused and thrown away now, because who the hell wants to sit there and take the time to fix an old rickety chair? Don't worry about them and just go get another one. So when you get a man who got all these issues and all these heavy burdens and you trying to hold them and he plop on top of you and knock you down, now you looking at him sideways. Why did you tell him to sit? You don't know your own weight requirements? Because you don't have self-awareness. Because you don't know who you are. Because you didn't even realize you was a chair that couldn't hold all that weight. Because you told yourself you was the table. Because you had close proximity to the table doesn't mean you are, in fact, the table. No. Know thyself, sis. Know thyself. Study to show yourself approved. A workman not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Figure out who you are first before you even let anyone around your vicinity, into your aura, into your being. Know thyself. Study to show thyself approved. Figure out who you are. Learn yourself. Understand yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Work out your own issues. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Get it under control. Don't let nobody else come and pull your little strings. You shouldn't have no strings in the first place. Cut that off. All these insecurities and doubts and unknowing, cut that off and leave it. Shouldn't anybody have the ability to control you? Not a soul on this earth. Nobody should come up to you and tell you who you are. Nobody on this earth should be able to convince you that you're anything other or anyone other than who you have proclaimed yourself to be. And can't nobody just come and put their stuff on your table. You can't come to my house unannounced. You can't just set yourself down upon me without my permission. No, love. I will let you know if I desire to have that on me. I don't want your little raisinette potato salad on my table, boo. Go take that to somebody else's house. I don't want it. Don't place that hot pot on me. I just buffed that out. You're not about to burn me again. Don't come over here with your little busted up drill. I did that already. Just rub me down from time to time. That's all I require. Because I've done the work on myself. And I know now who I am. A solid gold table. And some of you might be oak. And I'm not saying gold is better than oak. It's just a different metal. Not metal, but it's just a different composition. Different building materials. I like to refer to myself as a solid gold table because I have been through some crap, but I have also been through some healing. And it was a grueling process. But I feel like as if I have come out the other side. And can't nobody move me. Used to be able to just fling me with your hand and I would fly across the room. Oh! Hit me. You can't do that to me anymore. Because I have knowledge of self. I have wisdom and she is my friend. She guides me and keeps me. Keeps me sane. Lets me know when, be careful over there. Or don't go over there. And I listen. I hearken to her words. And I don't go over there. And praise be for wisdom. Because it has kept me out of a lot of unnecessary trouble. Have I gotten to a lot of situations that didn't serve me well? Sure. But it's because I chose to go over there. I chose to go over there with the foolishness, feeling like I was all big and bad. I'm a table. Watch this. And somebody places their stuff on me and I couldn't really handle what I thought I could. And as I lay there on the floor, busted up, I realized, girl, you didn't really have it. And it wasn't their fault for placing all that on me that caused me to crumble. My composition wasn't strong enough to even realize that I didn't want that on my table. That is not a dish I desire. No, you may not place that here. I do not desire your burdens, your heartache, your brokenness, your confusion, your sadness, your depression, your anxiety, your fears. I do not desire that. I cannot help you heal that. That is not my responsibility. I cannot save you out there in the middle of the ocean. You got to swim to me, love. I got to see you putting in some work to let me know that you got something that can be fought for. If you're not willing to fight for you, I for sure won't. You ever had a situation where you was with someone, probably might have happened in grade school, and you got a friend and they needed some help with a fight, and you go and you stand up for them and they back away, and now you look like, so what, you wanted me to fight this for you? You wanted me to fight your battle for you? You ain't even willing to step up with me? How that work? I gotta do all the work? So you call me over here to fight your battles? This ain't even my fight. This isn't even my fight. And y'all out here jumping in fights for people. And it's not even your fight. And you don't even know why you fighting. But you're going to be ride or die because they called you over here and you say, I'm a ride for whomever. I got your back. And now you're in the middle of a situation. You don't even know the full story because you only know what they told you. And they probably told you anything to get you over there. Manipulated you. Deceived you. And I got you caught up in some mess. Because they were too coward to deal with it on their own. So they called you over here to clean up their mess without even giving you all the information. You're not even qualified to be over there. You don't even know what or whom you're fighting for because they lied to you, and you let them because you didn't ask any qualifying questions to figure out, was it even worth you getting out the house to go over there in the first place to see what was up? To see if they even required your protection. Because wisdom says, ask a question. What you want me to go over there and fight for? What happened? Well, they was talking crap to me. What did they say? They said I don't do nothing. I'm this and I'm that. Okay. Do you feel that to be true about yourself? Oh, I mean, but they don't need to say it. If the person that you're trying to fight for doesn't even know who they are and can't even articulate why they need help and don't take any type of personal responsibility to just say, well, I know who I am and that doesn't bother me, because they're not immovable and they're not steadfast and they're not like a tree planted by the water. They're easily swayed and manipulated and controlled. And they don't want to throw you into that same fire. And now you're going to get all burned up. And now you causing and getting into their discord. And people got beef with you now because you jumped out there for them. And don't tell them what they did to even cause this person to do that to them in the first place. But you ain't asked no kind of qualifying questions. You just jumped out there blindly. That's not safety and security. Somebody who really loves you and cares for you is not going to have you out there looking crazy like that, putting you in harm's way because they're cowards, because they don't want to do the work, because they don't want to be honest with themselves, because they don't have self-awareness, because they're insecure. Let me throw them out there. Don't go. Ask questions before you get into serious relationships with people, be it friendships or partnerships, romantic or otherwise. Ask questions. Who are you? What is your purpose on this earth plane? What do you desire? What are things that are non-negotiables for you? What do you want out of this life? Do you want children? Do you believe in marriage? How is your relationship with your parents? Did you know your parents? How has that made you feel? How has that affected your life going into the future? If those questions can't be answered without someone getting all up in arms with you, then you need to leave them where they are. Shake the dust from your feet and bounce. That person requires way too much work, more than you can offer. That is not something you want to venture into, because that might be more than what you can handle. Check their weight requirements first. Don't let them plop on you. Don't let them put their stuff on your table. It's not worth it, because now you all out of sorts. But it was your choice, and you have to know that. It was your choice. You are responsible for you. It is no one else's fault. It is no one else's responsibility for how your life is now. It is no one's responsibility for how your life is the way that it is now. Because most of you watching this are grown adults. And you've made your own decisions and your own choices for your life. And you can try to put that off on other people all you want to, but what are you doing for you today to ensure that you have your heart's desires, that you are the person that you feel you were called to be, that you are walking within the purpose that you feel like you have, or even having awareness of what your purpose even is on this earth plane? If you don't even know what your purpose is, you have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. If you don't know what you want to do, who you want to be, that means there's some unhealed traumas in your childhood that need to be worked out. Because you're dealing in confusion. And you can't progress in your life in a state of confusion. And I always give the analogy of standing in the middle of a tornado and watching everything just swirl about you, moving at high speeds, and there's danger all around. You got semi trucks and cows and rebar and all kind of stuff floating around you. And one false move can take you out the game, and you are afraid. But if you just stand still and look up, you can see the calm in the middle of the storm. You can see the sun shining. You might see a bird go by. The bright blue sky, white clouds, cumulus. And you can find that stillness. And if you can live and be in that stillness, then that's all you need. Because the way this world is, it's always going to be swirling about you. Something always is going to come around trying to knock you out and take you out the game. Don't get caught up in that. That's noise. Those are distractions. Don't feed into it. Don't give it your energy. Be unmovable and steadfast. Know thyself. A workman not be ashamed. If you've done the work, if you've done the work on yourself, a workman not be ashamed. Rightly dividing the word of truth. If you have done the work on yourself, the work, getting rid of all of that darkness, that confusion, that doubt, that worry, anxiety, fear, disillusionment, false narratives. If you've done the work about that, and you come to a place of knowing and stillness in your own being, you can stand in whatever anybody comes at you with. Oh, you used to do X, Y, Z. I did do that because I had unhealed trauma, and I was still dealing with the blank of this. And because of that, this caused me to make those bad decisions for myself. So yeah, I did do that, but I'm healed now. Thanks for asking. I'm well. How are you? Still in Discord, I see. You be well. Them kind of people ain't gonna sway you. They can't insult you because you've done the work, because you know who you are. They can't come at you with slander. They can't defame you because you know who you are. Workmen not be ashamed. Rightly dividing the word of truth. Yeah, that happened. But here I stand. Still like air I rise. Leaping and willing, swelling with the tide. Everything in life has an ebb and a flow. It comes and it goes. I always like to talk about the waters in our bodies and how you have to steal the waters. But when you're calm and your waters are going, think of a beach. It's an ebb and a flow. It's a give and a take. It's a come and it's a go. It's a yin and a yang. It's the man and the woman, the balance, the light and the dark. Not even the light and the dark. It's all light. Balanced energies. Wholeness in their own fullness and togetherness. That's what you should strive for. The evenness, the balance, the calmness, the stillness in knowing who you are. And don't be out here on these internets talking about I am the table. Examine yourself, sis, brother. Are you easily manipulated? Can they put something on the news and you all out of sorts, you upset, you angry, you saying stuff, you typing real fast? Why are you so easily controlled? Why can people catch you like that? I've stopped giving stuff like that my energy. The stuff that they give us, these images that they give us all the time. And if I do look at it, it's exculpatory. Like I'm trying to see what's what. I'm trying to see what it is. It's an examination. I'm using my discernment and wisdom to see, what is this? What are they trying to feed me? Because a lot of us allow ourselves to be fed filth and trash, and we eat it up, and it festers and it rots our gut, and parasites eat at our brain and control us, and we have no instincts, we have no wisdom, we have no knowledge of self, because everybody can tell us who we are and how to feel about ourselves and how to feel about each other. Women, I don't understand. This is a perfect segue. Women, I do not understand this need to have such vitriol and hatred toward our men right now. I don't understand it, and I do need help in understanding it. This is something I truly do want to understand. What happened to where now you have society telling you that your men are not good enough for you, and they keep giving you images of these women? And if you're not of my nationality and community, then just hang tight. Don't feel left out, because I'm only talking to my like sisters right now. If you have people of other nations telling you how to feel about your men and that you need men from other nations to exalt to you and to put you in a place of success, and you believe it, that's personal work that you have to do for yourself. And you've chosen to believe a lie. Because what you are not going to do is try to convince me that people, men specifically of our community, ain't shit. Now, do you have some ain't shit men? Excuse my language, but y'all like to use that term a lot, so I'm going to use it so you can understand. You got these no good men, let's use that, right? If they're all no good, then who y'all here frolicking with? Why are you giving them your womb? They're good enough for that, but they're not good enough to be committed to. They're good enough for that, but that's it. You've reduced everything down to a physical sexual transaction, and as long as you can get that, it's all good and nothing else matters. No big deal. Other women get to do it. Men get to do it. I'm going to get what I want and I'm going to bounce. I ain't giving nothing away for free. You're going to have to give me something. That sounds a lot like prostitution to me. So y'all out here prostituting yourselves, putting a monetary value on yourselves, on your womb, which is sacred, which is invaluable because her worth is more valuable than pearls. But you can be bought with a Birkin. The math ain't mathing. It's not going to hold up. That ain't going to make it through the fire in that refinement process. That's a poor argument. Let me back to where I was because I almost forgot. How do you allow for that to be? Why is it that you have allowed yourself to be in a position to now feel like the men who was made for you to build up a nation is no longer worthy of you as a whole, but he can have your body. I don't understand how that works. I don't understand how that equates. So you can't in one breath say the man ain't nothing, but you out here sleeping with him. So what does that say about you? Sounds like to me you make poor decisions. You have poor judgment. You make bad choices. You are irresponsible and not a protector of your own womb. You are saying these men have full reign and control over your womb. He got me pregnant. Did you not spread your legs? Did you also not require him to have prophylactics? Did you also not ensure that you didn't have things set up in place for you not to create offspring when you didn't want to? Or not to have heartbreak or spiritual confusion because you decided to lay with someone who was not worthy of your being? But you talk trash about them all over the internet. They don't take care of their kids. I see so many fathers in our community, more than mothers, and that's honest, taking care of their kids. I see more fathers on a regular basis showing up for their kids than I see mothers around. And I'm not exaggerating. When I pick my child up from school, it's a hallway full of fathers. And these are people from our community. When I'm coming out of stores, I see nothing but fathers with their children. My son just did the little award ceremony for kindergarten. Had a lot of fathers in there. There's a lot of fathers in there. So I don't know what y'all talking about, these men not taking care of their kids. I don't know what bubble y'all live in. But these are men from all socioeconomic backgrounds showing up on a regular basis for their children. Field trip days, all week long. I was the minority as a woman. Not to say his father didn't come. He was there too, but I'm just saying there was more fathers on the trips than there were mothers. Y'all got to stop this. I don't know who told y'all that this is an epidemic sweeping the nation. It is not. It is not. Do you have some men who are abusive in our community? Are men, period, who are abusive? Yes. Do you have manipulating and lying men? Yes. Do you have men that don't take care of their children? Yes. But you also have a whole slew of women who lie to men about paternity. You have a whole slew of women who have children and don't even tell the men that they're pregnant. And some of these men are begging for children, crying for children. They be on paternity court crying, wishing those kids are theirs. And y'all sitting there in the same breath talking about they ain't crap and they don't want to take care of their kids when they're out here crying in the streets and the courts for their children. But y'all just want the child support. You'll allow for his labors to be laid up in the house of an alien. Wayward women. See how I came back to that? Don't be a wayward woman. And if you have been, cut it out, sis. It's only going to bring you and your life and your children destruction. Do you not care about your own children enough to not bring discord and destruction into their lives? If their fathers want a relationship, let them have it. Well, he's abusive. Is he physically abusing these children? If so, then no, he don't need to be around these kids. Is he physically abusing you? No, he shouldn't be around y'all because he makes you feel unsafe. And it's your position to protect the children. If he's going to take them away from their mother or shall I say, take their mother away from them, yes, you have to make sure that you provide safety to them as well and to yourself. But if that not be the case, if he just say, I don't want you, if you don't like the girl he got, or that he moved on without you, that is not cause for you to keep that man away from his children. Even if he doesn't have the funds all together to help you, you knew that before you laid with him. And when you laid with him, you should have known there was a possibility that offspring could happen. So why you even lay with this man if you felt like he didn't have the monetary gains to provide and protect y'all in a financial way? If you didn't see any financial security in your future with this man, why even lay with him and have offspring? Because yes, they do require financial funds in order to secure their place in this future, to make sure they have food, proper food, not junk food, not food out of a freezer, not that WIC food. I saw them WIC lists. That is wild. They feeding y'all anything. I don't care if you get food stamps, baby. You can still go buy organic food and produce. Everybody takes it now. That's not a good excuse. You shouldn't be laying with anyone if you're not even in a position to take care of these kids. Because even if this man is your husband, and I've said this before, even if this man is your husband, he can still lose his job. He can become deceased, disabled. And then what are you going to do? You got to work that silk and that wool with your hands, sis, and go out to that marketplace and make sure you bringing stuff back to the household. Create new ways and streams of revenue and food and produce for your household. You got to be a helpmeet to this man, not tear him down because of his situation, his circumstance. Not tell him what he not because you put more money in the bank. That doesn't mean anything. If you're not building him up, he's never going to get up. Well, you just said we have to build ourselves up. Why I got to build him up? Because as his wife, why would you want to tear him down? Why? What do you have to gain by making him feel less than? What do you have to gain by emasculating him and telling him he ain't nothing because he ain't bringing in as much funds as you are? Is he honorable? Is he trustworthy? Is he loyal? Is he honest? Is he reliable, dependable, respectful? Does he have the respect of the elders at the gates? Does he support you and listen to your foolishness at the end of the day? If he does all those things, sis, why are you mad? Why are you mad? Because that type of man is rare. You don't find him everywhere, especially not nowadays. He is rare. Because in a lot of cases, he want to be with him, or he want to be she, or he just want to be an F-boy because some woman done tore him down so much that he don't even want to fool with y'all on that type of level no more. So he just gonna F around because women ain't crap. You can't trust them. They not loyal. They always trying to get over because a lot of y'all are. And you need to start being honest about that and stop getting so mad when brothers say stuff. Is it a sweeping generalization when they say black women ... or women ain't ... Yes, it's a sweeping generalization. These are broad terms and it may not apply to you, but if it don't apply to you, why you mad? I hear brothers say all kind of crazy stuff on the internet all day, but it don't apply to me. So it don't touch me the same way. I don't get upset in the same ways as y'all get upset because I know who I am. And if I choose to respond to somebody, I'm like, that's really unfortunate. I'm sorry you had to go through that to make somebody make you feel like this about all women, but it's not all of us, baby. I promise. Sometimes you got to let them know. All of us don't hate you. All of us aren't against you. All of us aren't trying to manipulate you and deceive you and to get over on you and store up your labors in other households. All of us aren't trying to work you into your joints and your hands are bleeding because you've been out there working all day. And as soon as you get home, where you been? Why you late? Why you ain't at this? What happened, baby? You was a little later today. Something happened? You all right? Yeah. And then you didn't even take the time to listen. Maybe this man had a flat tire. He tried to call AAA. They didn't come because he tried to fix the tire himself. And then he realized it was the same old tires before and it never got switched out. And so he had to wait. And he couldn't call you because his phone died. Because you had been calling him all day and y'all was on the phone. And he forgot his charger because he rushed out the house. A myriad of things could have happened. My boss held me later. Or I had a late customer and they just wanted to keep talking and I didn't have the heart to stop them and I couldn't call you because I was in the middle of a conversation. My bad, love. I'm here now. Oh, that's good, baby. You got a good heart. How was your day? Nah, y'all just pop, 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 pop. Come with the heat. He can't put the bag down without you throwing out a bunch of stuff. And you got some men that do the same. A woman can't step foot in the house before you throwing all this crap at her. And then you wonder why she always tired and downtrodden. Why you always looking tired? Why you never got a smile on your face? Why you look like you don't want to? Because maybe she tired, love, and she don't even want to be there because every time she come home, it's something else she got to do. Because you don't want to do nothing. You don't want to wash a dish. You don't want to wipe a nose. You don't want to fold a shirt. You don't even want to put the shirt up. You don't want to take the chicken out to thaw. You don't want to do anything. You can't pick up a sock and put it in the dirty clothes basket. She tired. You don't help the kids with homework. You don't ever cook. You don't help her around the house, but she got to do all that and work and take care of you. Sis is tired, worn out, worn down, feeling unappreciated. Likewise, women, these men working 10, 12 hours a day. Nothing's ever good enough. He's still not making enough. So you leave him for somebody else that got more money only to get punched in the face every other day. Take better care of each other. Everybody got issues they trying to work through and work on. And if y'all constantly tearing each other down, you never gonna have any lasting partnerships. It's not gonna ever work. It's always gonna be something else to keep y'all in enmity with each other. Stop letting the world dictate how you should be with each other. If you chose to be with this man, if you stood on that line with all the other brides and he came up and he said, baby, it's you, and you said, okay, I'll go, and you went with that man, you chose all of that. Before you step foot off that line, you should have started asking questions, sis, to understand what you're getting yourself into and then deciding, is this something I want to take on? If you getting with a man with kids, instead of you trying to be all superwoman and show him that you can do whatever because you big and bad, because I can do anything. I just want to show him that this is the type of woman I am. And you're not even built for that. You should have been honest with yourself. You should have been honest. So now you all mad and bitter that you even did it in the first place. I saw some comment about, I don't even know if it was real or not, but some woman wanted to marry a man, but not want him to have a relationship with his young daughter and trying to find a way if she can get rid of the daughter. If you don't want children or his past children, then you don't want him because they are him. Likewise, if you have children and this man saying, I don't want a woman with kids, move around. Don't be mad about it. Because especially nowadays, most people got kids and are no longer with the person they had those children with for a bunch of different reasons. Some reasons being dysfunctional, some reasons being completely functional, and just having to come to an adult decision. But someone is going to be okay with wanting to be with you and your children. You just have to have some patience. Stop trying to force stuff on other people, or stop trying to force stuff on yourself that you're not really ready for. What's his relationship like with the mother of his children? Is it rocky? Do you even want to deal with that? If you want to deal with that, don't get involved. Stop trying to prove stuff to people to make yourself look better, because that's all it really is. It was about ego. It was all about ego. Not because that was really in your heart to do. Not because you really loved them children and wanted to stand in the way. If their mother isn't on this earth plane, stand in the way for her. Or if she is and maybe she's not in a state to really care for the kids, to be a more positive role model for them. Or even if she is in their life, for you to be another person helping out in partnership with whatever it is they already have going on. And if they're rocky, then you can be adult enough and mature enough to realize that some of this stuff ain't got nothing to do with you, and you need not take it personally. And when these children feel a certain type of way, you have to understand that they're children, and children are not going to behave in the ways that adults behave. They don't have the same life experiences, right? Their prefrontal cortex isn't even matured enough to handle those types of emotions. You barely are. And you 35 or 50 or 42 or however old you are. If you feel like you're a grown person, why are you even complaining about that? You chose that life. You chose it. Nobody made you do any of that. You don't get an award for that. The same thing with a man. If you get with a woman with kids and you chose her and those children and you helping her take care of those kids, you don't get an award for that. Because if you chose to be her man, her partner, her husband, that is your responsibility. And yes, those children are her responsibility, but if you don't want to be responsible for those kids, leave her alone. Don't even go over there. Because you're asking for dysfunction. And why would you want to bring that upon those children? Those kids got enough to deal with. They're trying to figure out life. They're trying to figure out who they are and their place in this world. And here you come with your foolishness. Trying to save people who don't want to be saved, who can't be saved, who you can't even save in the first place. Because you're trying to throw out a life raft, so you think, but you ain't even in the boat. You wading in the water too. You just closer to the boat, so you feel like you got some type of security, but you in the water too. Some can come up from the deep and easily just yank you down. And there you go. Gone. Drifting, tossed at sea. That's a double-minded man. Don't be double-minded. Be honest with yourselves. Know who you are. Know your place. Stop being a contrarian. If you say you this, be that. If you're not that, don't be that person. Don't get mad if somebody says you're a liar and all you do is lie. You are, in fact, a liar. If you steal things, you are a thief. If you deceive people, you are a con man or woman. That is who you are, because that is what you do. Connors con, liars lie, thieves steal. Okay? Stop acting like you got more virtue than what you do. If your behavior says otherwise, You're a hypocrite. That's not you. You saying something, you mad that somebody calling you out for doing what you're doing. That's the problem with a lot of women right now. Y'all are getting real upset because people are calling y'all for doing what you're doing. Oh, I can do this. Just don't shed light on it. Don't tell everybody. You're telling everybody because you're out here living life. Living your best life. You've already told everyone. It's out. The secret is out. So don't get mad when somebody takes the flashlight and shines it on you and say, oh, look at here. Don't get mad when somebody lift your rock and see all them worms crawling up under there. Or look under your table and see you got inadequate screws and nuts and bolts and stuff is missing and you rickety and rusted out, used, tossed and driven. And don't get mad about that. Recognize it for what it is and be like, dang, I got some work to do. And go off into your little cave and do your work and come out shiny. And if somebody try to come up against you and say, oh, you was on this and you was on that. I was unhealed. But I did my work and I feel great. How are you doing? Johnny still slapping you across the face or he stopped? How y'all doing with that? And nobody gonna be able to hold you. Go do your work. Go do your work. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Do your own work because time is running out. We almost out of here. Y'all don't see what's going on in this world today? And y'all over here fighting about silly stuff. Y'all being silly on this internet. Men ain't this and they ain't doing that and this and that. But who y'all want to be with? Who is going to have you? If that's the energy you putting out and that's the type of time you on all the time, who is going to have you? No one. Don't nobody want that kind of life. And if men are so trash, go be like Maya and marry yourself. And don't worry about them. But don't be out in these streets talking about how trash they are. Because it ain't all of them. And y'all so mad and bitter and wanting the world from these men, and you ain't even willing to offer them crumbs. Y'all don't even have nothing to offer. Half of y'all working at Family Dollar, driving old cars, and I'm not trying to put those kind of people down. What I'm saying is you in that kind of position, but you feel like you worthy of some man that got all his stuff together. But you're the work in progress and you want him to fix you. Because you're a woman and you ought to be exalted. And you just need to fix your crown. Your crown don't need to be fixed because your crown just is. It's going to sit straight upright on the top of your head, unmoved. Because you are a queen. A queen doesn't deal in peasantry. A queen isn't out there with the jesters, shucking and jiving. A queen isn't out there in the yards, gossiping with the common folk, creating discord in the nation. A queen isn't out here killing her offspring because she done messed with Johnny and Larry. And she don't know what's what, and she don't want to deal with the shame. She don't want to stop whatever she got going on because, this is an inconvenience to me. Let me rid my body of this parasite. But you want a high value man. A high value man is a man who is emotionally stable and loyal and honest and trustworthy and dependable and reliable and respectable and emotionally stable and financially secure and financially responsible. And he's responsible for himself. And he has good relationships in the streets and people speak well of him. It ain't about how much money he got in the bank. Because you got buku men out here who's making hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and they ain't worth a quarter. That's not a high value man. That's the only thing I had against Kevin Samuels, was his definition of what a high value person was. And maybe there were some videos I didn't see where he probably said the same things I'm saying right now. But what's in your bank account does not determine the type of person that you are. It does not make a good man or a good woman because you got a lot of money. Because you could be vapid and shallow, lacking. A lot of y'all are lacking. Like my homegirl, you always say, "Oh, I'm black this, black women, black queen." Y'all be lacking. Be lax is what she call them. Be lax, cause y'all always be lacking. Lacking honesty, lacking accountability, lacking personal responsibility, lacking truth, lacking kindness, lacking awareness, lacking knowledge of self. Y'all be lacking. It's time to rise up and be great and to have personal accountability. Take care of yourselves. Be honest with yourselves. Do your work. You have to do the work. You're not going to get the desires of your heart when you out here acting like this, twerking all over the place in public places and degrading yourselves and putting out images and you simulating sex and stuff on people on national TV. And this is not the way, lady. Y'all throwing glasses and cursing all out and being aggressive like men. And don't a man want that? And they keep telling y'all they don't want that. And y'all here looking like drag queens with these wigs and all this makeup and this body surgery. They can't tell the difference. They can't tell the difference. They keep telling y'all they don't like that and y'all keep doing it. And then y'all mad when they say something. Why we should be able to do what we want with our own bodies. Yeah, you should, but just know that you ain't gonna get chose by the type of men you want to get chose by. Because type of men that's choosing women like that are also shallow, insecure men who only want you for your body and nothing else. And don't care about what's coming out of your mouth. Because it's probably foolishness anyway. And you feel like you have to adorn yourselves in such a way to where you don't even look like yourself for real anymore. That ain't the type of man you want, but that's gonna be the type of man you get. So don't be surprised when he then used and abused you and used your body as he saw fit and then tossed you to the side because that's what you presented. That's what you said you wanted. You're not gonna get no stand-up man presenting yourself in that way. You're not. You can't demand respect when you don't respect yourself. That's oxymoronic. You cannot demand respect when you don't respect yourself. You calling yourself B's. I'm a boss B. A boss can't be a B. Sorry to tell you, I mean to break the news. I don't mean to break the news to you. There is no such thing as a boss bitch. You can't be both. You're either a boss or an animal that needs to be tamed and put a muzzle on because you don't know how to stop yapping. We have to be better all around, ladies, because until we get ourselves together, the men won't get together. We keep teaching them how to treat us. They're going to keep treating us like that. If we stand on what we are, on our foundation, on our morals and our values, can't nobody come up with the foolishness. Those kind of men are not even going to approach you because they going to know this woman is out of my league. I'm not even going over there. When I operated at a lower frequency, I had so many men always in my face, always trying to. Now it's sprinkles. Those kind of men don't even. They say hey and they keep it moving. I don't even get catcalled like that no more. Who was saying that? I don't even get that anymore. It's just you don't because some men just see like I can't touch her. I can't go over there. That woman that's out of my league. I'm not gonna play myself, and they don't even try. Because your whole aura just repels that type of man. You know, it says resist the devil and he will flee from you. If you get away from that type of life, those kind of men can't even penetrate. There's going to be like a force field around you. They ain't coming, girl. Don't worry about them. Those type of men will excommunicate themselves. They will exile themselves from you because you've done the work. And now you're protected. It's such a freeing feeling. That's what freedom is. Peace, knowledge of self, and understanding and wisdom. No fear. That's freedom. And when you find a free man, a man who's truly free, ooh, now that's a power couple. Now you are the table. Now you can rightly and righteously proclaim. When he say, what do you have to offer? Baby, I am the table. How? Because this, and that. And guess what? Your behavior is going to back up your claims. And now you're an honorable woman because you are who you say you are. Same for the men. You are who you say you are. And the other person is going to see that and feel that and know that and trust that. Now you're working with grease. Like I said, now you cooking with hot grease. Now you know. You good. I want that for all of you. And I've been over 2.5 hours. And if you stay with me this long, much gratitude. And I hope that this message resonated with you in a positive way. I hope you felt that all the things I said was said in love. It is not meant to tear any of you down, but for you to see that you have work to do. We all have continual work to do. Continual means without ceasing. We always have work to do. I want y'all to do your work. If you need my help, you can email me, message me, DM me. It is indigospirit@gmail. No, that's not a Gmail. At Instagram. indigospiritcoaching@gmail.com. I will gladly help you do the work. I'm here for you. I love you all. I care about your being. I want to see you do well. I want to see us all prosper. I don't want to see the victims of circumstance in society. I want to see us transcend and ascend above all of this foolishness that the world is trying to give us. Stop listening to this noise. Stop tearing each other down. We need each other. Without each other, we will be extinct. And every day we get closer and closer and closer to extinction. And y'all so proud to be black, but if you tearing down your brothers on a constant basis, who you procreating with? There is no more black race then. It will be no more. So you'll have nothing more to be proud of. Your children won't even be able to proclaim the things you're proclaiming. So all this black empowerment that y'all trying to stand on, you're erasing it every day. It will cease to exist. We will cease to exist. Women as a whole, men will not be able to mistreat us unless we allow them to. And the people that want all of us to no longer be on this planet so they can hoard it all for themselves, we're allowing them to win because they're creating all of this divisiveness and we're feeding it right into it. Women, it starts with you though, because we're the birthers. We like to call us birthing women. Yeah, they jealous. We are birthing women. We birth life in many different forms. We are creators of life. We are the nurturers of life. And you can't tell me that no man could ever identify with that a day in his life. Life bringers, life bearers. That's who we are, women. We are greats, but we have to be greats. And we have to We will get the respect we deserve when we respect ourselves and show up in true queen form. You ever seen somebody walk up to Queen Elizabeth and try to knock her crown off her head? They wouldn't dare. They can't do it. So don't let nobody do it to you. Okay? Peace and love.